Being one of those who had close connections with our episcopate, who knew the nuncio of Bucharest, Gerald Patrick O'Hara, and had regular contacts with the bishops, I was wanted by the Securitate. They wished to use me to attack the church, get information about the church, relationships between bishops, then their attitude towards the communist regime in Romania.
Și despre atitudinea lor față de regimul comunist nou instalat în România. Atunci, arestat.
Once arrested, I was taken to different places for interrogation, where I was beaten without being asked a single question.
Văzând că presiunea fizică nu obține rezultate,
since physical abuse produced no results, my torturers began to apply psychological pressure. They took a bag of sand, the size of a 1 kilogram bottle, and had me beaten on my head. Talk. 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 50, 80, 1,000 times. No questions, just talk. I felt as if my head was about to crack into pieces. I was asked no questions and only heard talk. One should strive to make a virtue of every temptation. After every blow, when the torturers demanded talk, I kept telling myself, I won't talk. I won't talk. 50, 200, 1,000 times, I won't talk. I could not say anything other than, I won't talk. They brought a she-wolf. I had to run across 2 square meters, which meant 2 steps here and 1 step there, until my head was dizzy. Every time I stopped, the she-wolf would run in and jump on my back. When I fell on the floor and my torturers poured a bucket of water on my cheek, I heard them saying, "Do you know how long he has run? 39 hours. You should have been sent to the Rio Marathon." After they had splashed my face, I felt something warm running down my cheeks. This warmth gave me a pleasant feeling until it came into my eyes and nose and started to sting. I opened my eyes, looked up, and saw the belly of the she-wolf. I understood that the beast was urinating on my face as a demonstration of the socialist regime's contempt towards man. I was beaten on my soles until the skin cracked. 2 men with an iron rod beat me. They did it in turn. They could not bear it any longer, but the problem was that I had to bear more. It was Holy Thursday night. I heard the bells ringing in the nearby church, and I suddenly remembered that Jesus had also been beaten. And just as Jesus had cried out in a loud voice on the cross, "Eli, Eli, lama sabactani," so I began repeating, "Jesus." Calling Jesus to be together with me in my suffering. I could not walk. My legs were like a rugby ball. They dragged me to my cell in a blanket and left me. I cried when I saw my wounds, and in my hallucinations, senseless from the beating, I kept telling myself, Jesus wants to kiss me. With these wounds, with these lips filled with blood, Jesus was with me.
Iisus era cu mine. Acest tratament a durat.
The therapy continued. I was beaten for 3 months without any questions asked. I was only to talk. Truth be told, I had no idea what they wanted from me. And then the torturers started to threaten that they would harm my wife. They knew that after our marriage, we had only been together for 3 months, and that my wife was pregnant. We'll bring her here and have her give birth with you watching. We'll beat her until she's in labor here. They had a recorded tape with the screams of women, and they would tell me, "Just listen how she screams." I heard and was terrified. Perhaps it wasn't difficult for them to understand that my wife was my critical weakness. However, something told me it couldn't be her. I did not surrender to their threats, but it was the toughest thing that I have ever had to endure. After 2 years of interrogation with certain breaks, I was put on trial. The prosecutor, the person who was supposed to accuse, declared, "There is no proof of guilt of the accused in his dossier, but we nonetheless ask for a maximum penalty." After all, if he were not guilty, he would not be here. I responded, "You want to convict me for deeds which the penal code does not include? The deeds you are referring to took place when a different law was in force, when contacts with nuncios, bishops, and life in the church had not been banned. I do not agree with this interpretation of Romanian laws." As a consequence, the court president replied, 15 years of forced labor. I objected, "But it's not possible for you to condemn me without proof." To which he said, "Not possible? Here's how possible it is. 20 years of forced labor." After the trial, I was taken to Aiud. The cells were single, so that prisoners were kept in perfect isolation, so as not to talk. When I came into the cell, there was nothing, no piece of furniture, no bed, no chair or table, only bars and windows without frames. We were taken to